hello. Welcome to the 14th episode of the Camerata Podcast. This is your host, Andres Marquez, as always, and today I've got a lovely trio of musicians from SoCal, from my corner of SoCal in Los Angeles. Um, Want to introduce to y'all Sons of Cali. So why don't you take the floor?
Yeah.
Woo!
All right. Well, first and foremost, thank you, Andre, for having us on. We're the Sons of Cali from Northeast LA. I'm a Howie. I sing for the band and I play the electric bass.
Yeah, I'm Alan. I'm one of the singers from Sons of Cali, as well as the guitarist, and sometimes a little bit of the what do you say, the guitar lead is as well.
What he wants to be.
Soon, trying.
And I'm Ryan. I play drums and percussion every now and then. I have song ideas, and I provide the sarcasm to the band.
Oh yeah, he's real good at that.
I like that. Every band needs a bit of a humorous edge.
Definitely, most definitely.
I think Ryan was like the class clown back in the day.
Oh, I love that.
Unfortunately.
I used to be a fucking hyper ass kid back in middle school and high school, and then I just simmered down all the way.
Yeah, when everybody would sniff those eraser shavings and
You mean the Sharpies? The Sharpies?
Eraser?
Sniffing the
I've
glue.
never heard of eraser shavings being sniffed.
Or be that weirdo in the corner eating glue.
You want some?
You remind me of Webster.
Gosh. So, I wanted to ask for folks who haven't really heard your music yet. I mean, we're gonna put a clip of the music video, which we'll talk about later. But for folks who haven't heard Sons of Cali, how would y'all describe your music and the vibe kind of sits within it?
No. Okay. That's a good question. And, we get asked that a lot. I like to tell people it's SoCal alternative. It's not a thing yet, but we'll make it a thing. And it's more like I guess it's very heavily influenced by the Southern California culture and the music that revolves around that. Think bands like Sublime, Sugar Ray, Red Hot Chili Peppers. Those are all guys that we've we look up to musically, and that's kind of what is the composition for Sons of Cali.
Yeah, sick. I've been listening to the EP as of late, the Sons of Cali self-titled EP, and yeah, it's definitely got what I would consider at least the SoCal vibe. For me, I get kind of this mix of Jack Johnson with the kind of acoustic-ish, half acoustic vibe, and then with more standard alt rock stuff like you said, Sublime and Sugar Ray, who I honestly haven't heard Sugar Ray in years. So like finding you guys and then seeing that, oh yeah, we're inspired by this band. It's like, oh my gosh, I haven't heard Sugar Ray since high school. It's insane.
Yeah,
But
little
yeah,
hidden gem.
it's really fun to listen to y'all. You have, from what I've heard on the EP at least, you have a very I'd say not just upbeat, but it's very optimistic music, and that's what I love to hear in music. I dig sad songs, and I dig very like socially aware punk and metal. But like sometimes it's just really fun to chill with music that's just meant to kind of lift your spirit.
Oh yeah,
That's what I really love about Sons of Cali.
most definitely. I feel the same way. Music's supposed to make you feel good, or some remorse of having, like, even if you're having a crappy day, or even if you're like the world's like falling on you, music is there to lift that spirit up, to really share the emotion, because people can relate to a lot of music depending on the way they feel. And for me, I think our music tries to create that mix sound where we do get the people, and at the same time, we also want to be able to lift people up and share that with a lot of the audience that are out there.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, if you don't mind, I kind of want to know a bit of the history of Sons of Cali when y'all, I guess, formed formed the band. I'm guessing all of y'all are SoCal natives.
Yeah, Nar,
Born and raised.
pretty much.
Nice, nice. Yeah, how did Sons of Cali come about?
Nar. Um, I want to start off by it was basically through a song that I created about 4 or 5 years ago, and I played guitar since I was very little, since probably middle school, even earlier than that, because my family is a bunch of music junkies and they play music all the time. And so growing up and seeing them play music was very inspirational to me. And it was cool for many years in school that I played guitar and piano, a little bit of cello, some drums, nothing major, but guitar was always the thing that I stuck with me because I was able to bring it to school and share people like, hey, look at this new song I learned. It's a cover from some band or somewhere. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And years later, after learning so many covers, I kind of got bored of it. And I was like, well, let me try writing something. And I got some family living out in the islands of Hawaii, and they're very just festive, cultural, very down to earth people. And they like my music, and they're like, why don't you just try writing something of your own? And so I kind of wrote something when I was out there and then brought it back to Los Angeles and then shared it at a couple open mics. And that's kind of how it really started was from one song that I wrote and was able to share with my buddies, Howie and Ryan, and asked them about what they thought about it. And they wanted to be a part of it. And so we kind of stuck with it and kept rolling with it till today. That was really exciting, and I'm so glad to have them as my friends, and that we're still creating new music till this point, and we're just very blessed about it.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, Howie, Ryan, what do y'all think about the experience so far? How's Sons of Cali? I guess like what part of your life has it played? How big of a part of your life has it played?
Nar.
No. Uh,
Mm.
yeah, you see, we think alike. Go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, I haven't spoken yet, so um, yeah, I think this experience has been a challenge for me because I'm coming from an academic background in music, and being told by your teacher like, oh, like jazz is the way, or da 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 da, like, oh, you need to do your rudiments, like, no one really wants to hear that. And so playing amongst friends outside of music school and like um, the academic front was challenging, not only musically but also like the language too, because like when you're going to school for anything, there's a certain way that people talk, and it's a collective thing. You talk to a jazz bassist, and you say whatever. There's like certain lingo, like 12 bar blues, or such and such. And it's even like playing reggae. Like before this band, I never played reggae. Never been a reggae player. But this 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 band has really shaped my playing in a way that I never thought I would without it. And it's a big blessing. And I know that it's very impactful on whatever audience we play in front of, or whoever listens to it. And people who haven't seen me for maybe about a year or so, like, whoa, like, you're a part of that band. Like, yeah, it's a good vibey band. Like, yeah, I really dig this song because it's so different, and there's like some Latin flavor in there, and like I get a vibe of like Incubus. Like I miss Incubus. I'm like, well, there you go, man. That's your tune. That's your song. And I feel like that's what we do for people, is we bring back those good vibes that people loved from like the 90s and the early 2000s. with our own little flavor too. Because I mean, as much as like we have our common interests, like how I was saying, like Sublime, Sugar Ray, Red Hot Chili Peppers, even
Mhm.
like as I just mentioned, Incubus. Um, we all have separate influences on top of that too. Like I love a lot of progressive metal, which you cannot tell by the music.
Yeah.
But I try and implement little things from that music into what we're creating now. Um, because the first EP, it didn't really call for any of that stuff. So I was trying to implement more of my percussion background and like making things bright and more like colorful. And like Howie, I know Howie loves like reggae. He's a huge Sugar Ray fan, you know, so that's like his huge influence. Alan loves Incubus,
Hmm.
and he also loves a lot of like like underground hip hop jazz kind of stuff. So he uses a lot of those kind of chords, and you can definitely hear that in the music. And I think that's a big attribute as well, on top of us making these colorful and bright and happy songs. I genuinely think that there's a song for everybody in the first EP, and then there's gonna be even more in the second one, which is soon to come to your ears.
Yeah, buddy.
Sick, sick. I'm looking forward to more music from y'all.
Me too.
Hmm.
Now, I wanted to ask specifically about one piece of music that y'all put out, "Canvas," second song on your EP, and it's got a beautifully shot music video.
I'm feeling the morning, I'm feeling the night, I'm feeling the sunshine and the moonlight.
Goes along to it, and not really much to spoil about it, but I will say for folks who yet to see it, it's got a whole bunch of really cool shots of street art in Los Angeles. Lots of murals. You get shots of studios. Uh, there's a specific shot where it kind of pans into what looks like a shed slash studio in somebody's home. Couldn't really like tell what exactly it was, but it really just kind of fits into this entire aesthetic of Los Angeles being a creative hub. um, yeah, it's absolutely lovely, and just like it's fitting for a song called
Thanks,
Canvas,
man.
and I really did. It made a big impression on me. And I wanted to ask how the music video came about, how y'all got the idea, like, hey, let's just make this video kind of like an exposition into Los Angeles as an art world.
Nar. I think remembering back on the process of making the video, it kind of made itself. The only thing that we really need to work on was like a like a time frame, organizing when we're gonna shoot certain scenes. But the idea was always about the art of LA, whether it's the murals, people dancing, playing in drum circles, or um, any art form that you can find in LA. We wanted it in the video.
It's funny you mentioned that, Ryan. I was just driving down uh, parts of South Central today, and every time I see a mural, it doesn't matter where it is in the city, I'm still kind of in that headspace. Like, oh, I want to capture that mural. I wish I had my camera.
Same,
And,
dude.
and yeah, and it's gotten to the point where I just want to just capture it and maybe have it as B-roll for the next music video
Add a
because
little more.
there's so much in LA, so much that goes into our art, expressiveness, and all these artists who just go down to Home Depot and pick up some spray paint just to make something on a flat piece of wall. It's incredible, the expression in LA, and we really wanted to encompass that in our music. And I think Canvas is just a perfect representation of art in LA. And Andre, thank you so much for checking that out, and for
Yeah,
for the
appreciate
praise, man, because we created that so people could also kind of see that for themselves. If you don't live in LA, it's really hard to picture that. But now that we have it on video, and it's accompanied with a song, it's a lot easier for people out of state or out of town people to get the LA vibe.
Very true.
that. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, LA definitely has a very unique sort of keep saying the word aesthetic, but it's very unique in terms of how you can feel the expression of creative people in the area. And I think that also has to do with the fact that there are so many different neighborhoods just around the downtown area. You've got like Silver Lake, Echo Park, Frogtown, and then to the west you've got Hollywood, Santa Monica. There are just so many different neighborhoods that are all Los
Yeah,
Angeles, but are also different in very
it's
tangible
a mixing
ways.
pot, my friend. It's a very big mixing pot.
Hmm.
Uh,
Yeah, that's one of the beautiful parts about the
yeah,
city.
and it's cool that when we got a chance to really make this music video, Canvas, we actually thought about what we wanted to pick for a music video because we were getting down to the moments where like, okay, guys, we got the EP ready. We're gonna get ready to release this. Let's come up with the music video, and we had to decide between Canvas, what was it, Amigos, and was I think it was Scorched, and we were just like talking amongst each other, like, oh, what do you think would be best? How do you guys want to do it? And we did decide it ended up on Canvas, and yeah, the idea of having the artwork shown as a representation of the song is definitely a nice little mix because art is a very universal language, whether you're drawing, you're cooking, you're singing a new song or writing something. It's so universal that people, anybody can do it. It doesn't specifically have to be one way. That's what art is about. It's just something that you create. Yeah, funny story though. But when we were coming up with the music video, this is a little something I want to share. It was pretty funny. But the first, I think it was the first day or the second day. I don't remember if you guys remember, but we have another bandmate as well. Fortunately, he's not available, but he's always here in spirit. But Edward is our lead guitarist, and he's usually the one that helps us out. Carries the luggage because we don't really have means of transportation. And one day he came to pick us up, and I guess when he was loading up his amps in his car, he like smashes the back window. He's just freaking out, and we're just like, "Oh man, we need to go film right here, right now, before like so many people start taking pictures at this one mural." And we are just like running around like crazy, like, "Oh my god, why is this happening?" Like, "Oh my god," it was like we had to come up on the spot to figure out like, okay, what's the next solution? What can we do? How are we gonna film this and stuff like that? And there was another on that same day where my buddy broke his windshield, not his windshield, but the back window. I had an idea because Ryan was like, "Let's go film at this park right here in downtown because it's a very iconic scene and everyone goes there. They like to shoot footage, photo shoots." And I was like, "All right, let's do it." And then, oh behold, right down the street, if you saw in the music video, there's a store. It's called Bob's Store, but it's actually an old school hidden gem for car fanatics that love it. It's actually supposed to be Dom's Market from the first Fast and Furious movie. And so I was like, oh, we got to be like in the music video with this thing to get that LA vibe going on. And so people when see it, they like hear the music, and then when they see the music video, they're like, oh snap, they know about this place. And I was just like, yeah, that's dope, bro. Car fanatics, you love that stuff. So that was a little cool little story I wanted to share with you guys. So, oh yeah, and then sorry,
Sick.
I forgot to mention. Uh, there was another thing where
No worries.
um, one of the actors from the Fast and Furious was there that day too. He was the white nerdy kid that was like, "Hey man, car intake boost, and like you gotta like know this stuff." And he's like, and then Paul Walker was like, "Yeah man, how do you know this stuff? When did you go to school?" He's like, "Yeah man, I'm kind of like not really right in the head." He was the one that drove that Jeep, not Jeep, the Volkswagen Jetta, and I forgot his name, Chad something, but he was there that day taking pictures at the shop, and he almost got run over. And I was like, "Hey man, you got to move out of the way, car's gonna hit you, bro." And he's like, "What?" And then he just walks away. I was like, "All right, whatever." So I try to save you. But yeah, that was the days we were making music video and stuff like that. So it was pretty cool. It was really fun.
Nar. Also,
Right?
I gotta like shout it out.
Yeah, go ahead, go for it.
Another cool thing that I'd like to point out is a lot of eye-catching things that are in the music video were completely not planned,
Yes, yes.
which is something that um, I really love about the video because for me personally, I love things planned out. Personally, that's how I prefer shit. Oh, Steph, sorry, I don't know if we can curse on here.
Oh, go ahead.
Whoopsie.
We'll just beep it out. Beep.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, but after filming the whole music video, getting it edited, and like we looked it over, it's just such beautiful little moments. Remembering back, like, wow, if we planned this out, we wouldn't have gotten that. If we did something, even like if we moved to a certain spot a minute later, we wouldn't have gotten certain things in that video. Like
Yep.
the scene that Alan was talking about with the store in the background and like the whole Fast and the Furious vibe. We got a cool clip of a green Ferrari, I think,
Yeah, I think it was Ferrari. Yeah.
in the background, and oh my god, man, I low key wet myself. I was like, oh, it's happening.
It's coming together perfectly.
And then there's also the lowrider scene.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot about that. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
Right.
Alan took it upon himself to go up to the driver and his son and was like, "Hey, we're shooting a music video. Would you be cool with us filming?" They're like, "Yeah, dude, like go for it."
Yeah.
And like every time now when I watch the video, I'm like, dude, that is so gangster.
Yep.
This is so cool, man. I wouldn't want to have the video any other way after doing it the way that we did.
Seriously.
Yep.
And to see all that in ultra slow mo, even better.
Yep.
It's like, it's a whole different thing when you're actually there filming it. But once you actually play it back, and you're piecing it all together, and everything just fits, and that's when the magic happens. Not when you're actually there filming, because we didn't know what we were doing half the time.
Yeah, to be honest, we did not know.
And it's like Alan and Ryan were saying, none of it was planned out. And some of the best things in life never planned out. You could have a plan or like a blueprint to follow, but as soon as things deviate from that blueprint, you got to go with the flow.
No. Like, yeah, for sure. I can speak out of experience that I learned a valuable lesson in life from filming that music video. Like, just every scene has an amazing story behind it in that music video because of the way it was done. Just completely at the right place, right time. And I thank my two brothers here for that.
Amen, brother.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah, that video has a lot of sentiment to me, just for those reasons.
That's deep. I love it.
Andre, if only we knew you, we could have had you, as a cameo or something.
Right?
Well, that would have been nice, but honestly, I I love the video as it is as well.
Thanks for the praise, man.
No worries. I did kind of want to shift gears a bit, if
Yeah.
y'all don't mind. Um, yeah, I wanted to talk about. Well, we're on a podcast right now, CamerataCast, and I've seen just from your Instagram and stuff y'all post, y'all have been on a lot of interviews and podcasts and stuff like that. Y'all are on it's not BuzzFeed. I was about to say
One
BuzzFeed.
day.
Shoot, what's
Buzz music?
the it's Buzz Music. Oh my god, yeah. It slipped my mind. It's like it's not Buzz
Buzz
Music.
Lightyear.
It's too obvious.
Bud Lightyear.
Music for bees.
But yeah, y'all have yeah, it's really cool to see bands get I they become part of the media conversation. I guess it's not really like a term or anything. It's just I guess what I call it. But I wanted to ask specifically, like how does it come about that y'all end up on like podcasts or y'all get interviews and stuff on sites like Buzz Music? Um, a lot of musicians and a lot of artists in general, um, myself included, find it hard to kind of like network for one reason or another. And networking is just a huge part of being part of any art scene, especially
Yes.
in Los Angeles, as big and crowded, full of creative workers as it is. So I just wanted to ask how y'all go about it. If there's any specific method, or if it's just more of a go with the flow
Right,
kind of thing.
Nar. I spent a lot of time on social media, Instagram more than the others, and it's just there's so many different pages for music and art. Um, just want to give a shout out to Art House LA. He is a follower of ours, and he's always promoting shows. He's always promoting bands, and it's just that kind of dedication. If you're an artist, you know how hard it is sometimes to find shows or to land a gig or photo shoot or video shoot, whatever it may be. But if it weren't for these diehard individuals, the music lovers of the world, and for all these Instagram pages, it would have been damn near impossible to even land a single of those podcasts.
Hmm.
And it's just I'm so thankful for those people,
Yes.
for
Thank you.
people like yourself, Andre, and the Camerata Cast.
Yes. Thank you.
It's just it means so much to us as musicians because I don't even know how people did it in the old days.
Yep.
It must have been 10 times harder to land like an interview on a podcast.
Jackie Chan head scratcher. How
For
Yeah.
real. It's
Yeah.
to do
insane.
that?
Yeah, you'll just be another pile of CDs back in the day.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Well, like that's the thing. I hear I hear a lot about from older musicians, of course, how it's like, oh, it was so easy to land a record deal. It was so like like people just found you, they picked you up. It was like you sound new, you sound fresh. Let's put you on an LP. And I never consider how difficult it might have been back then to be part of like the burgeoning new rock and roll wave, because I only know how difficult it is now to really find any opportunities. Streaming has kind of made it so that music in terms of monetary value is somewhat close to
Yeah.
worthless. Um, and then you have just like record deals are increasingly predatory. Um, the music industry itself is kind of fucked. Not
Oversaturated.
not gonna like sugarcoat it in any way. Um, but yeah, like that's why I do the Camerata. Like you guys mentioned me, and I thank y'all so much for putting that out there. But the Camerata, I just wanted to make I guess somehow make an opportunity for artists to get exposure and to meet other artists. Form those connections that can lead to success, however people define that. But yeah, I guess that's kind of why I asked because there is a level of difficulty that comes with wanting to
Mm-hmm.
make it as an artist, and yeah, I wanted your take on that. How would you all define success? If you don't mind me kind of, I'm not sure if it's a tangent, but I do want to take that little turn. How do you all define success?
That's a good question.
Nar, I think,
Yeah. I was waiting for it.
yeah, uh, that's a loaded question, and I for one, I'm not after the fame and fortune. I could care less for it. I just want to create every day of my short existence, and I'm happy to do that with my buds. It's so much harder to do that on your own, but if you have a team of like-minded individuals backing you up in your mission, that's success to me. Just that alone, you're already making it. You're doing what you set out to do with your buds, and
Mhm.
that's a wonderful thing.
Oh yeah, I mean that's typically the answer I get when I hear that question. A lot of I'm not sure where the sort of view of success is being like, oh, I've got like a 6 or 7K or a 6 or 7 figure salary, or I've got this big old house and I've got money and
Right.
shit like that. Almost everybody I ask is like, I just want to be able to live independently, and I want to be able to you know devote time to my passions when I'm not devoting time to work. It's like that's a beautiful thing. Like most people don't want fucking gold, big cars, and all that stuff that money is supposed to buy. I don't know what money buys anymore. Um, but it's like, yeah, and some people just really, or most people that I've talked to, just really want to be able to live, let live, and create. And that's I think one of the best things I've learned from just doing this whole Camerata thing. Just knowing that so many people are so humble about what they want to achieve. Um, that it's really opened my
That's
eyes.
beautiful, man. Thank you for saying that.
Tier, it's like I think this community you've built, Andre, is incredible, and especially just the local underground or do it yourself kind of scene that is very commonplace here in LA. They're going to give that answer because they all share the same vision. And I think it just kind of depends case per case, but the majority of people that I've seen in this community, they're after the same thing. They could care less of the fame and fortune. They just want to, they're artists, they want to create and they want to have that outlet, that expressive outlet. And thanks again for putting this together. I can't say it enough.
I appreciate that to the moon and back, man. Like people thank me often. I'm not trying to
Yeah.
brag or anything like that, but I receive thanks from that, and it's kind of hard to accept a lot of the time, just because you know most of what I do is talk to people and, and communicate with people. And then of course there's like podcasts that takes work, editing and stuff like that. Social media can take some work as well, but for the most part, it's just talking to people, and I don't feel like that's like huge in any way. I mean, I appreciate being able to see, the community that I've gotten to work with. But even then, I don't feel like I built this community or made it. Just, groups of people that I've had the privilege of getting to meet and work with. They end up getting to meet with work with other people that I've worked with, and it just, this never-ending sort of spiral up into new connections and into new collaboration. Um, yeah, I appreciate the credit from everybody that says thank you. but I appreciate far more, the work that they do and the work that they put into their communities and into their art.
Nar. I
I love that word. I'm gonna wake up tomorrow. I'm gonna wake up tomorrow, and that's
You're
the
just gonna
first thing I'm
stretch
going
us.
to say.
Nar. Time to start my day. While you're brushing your teeth. Nar. But
Yeah.
yeah, one thing that definitely sticks out to me, and I'm glad you kept saying that, Andre, that is community. For me, a big part of success is community. It doesn't really have to be where you currently are or where you're from. It's the community that you build or that you choose to surround yourself with and be happy with. And I think it's way more impactful, especially now with the pandemic. More people are coming up with podcasts, and it's therapeutic for a lot of people right now. And on that note, I too would like to thank you for starting your podcast. It's one of many that I'm sure plenty of people listen to and get something out of it, and that's very important with the situation that everyone is going through right now, whether they're currently working or unfortunately they have to stay home and collect whatever they can just to get by, feed their families. A lot of these people are listening to podcasts or watching podcasts on YouTube, and that all comes back to community. I think community again has a big sense of success in the way that I see it. Um, and it that also comes back to being in a band. A band is your community, and within your band, Alan has his community, Howie has his community, I have my community, and we merge that through our music and through our social media. Like where we're filming, where we were playing before the pandemic. We're expanding our community through music and through our belief of um, sonic bliss is the way I like to put it.
Ooh, sounds
Noise.
like a song
That's
title.
great.
Noise. Write that down. Write that down.
Right after Canvas Side
Copyrighted.
B.
Copyrighted. Right. Sonic Bliss.
My gosh. All right. Well, we're gonna wind this cast down. Thank y'all again so much for being a part of this. There is one final part of this cast I like to put at the end of every episode we do. We just take some time to shout out people in our musical communities and our artistic communities, or just people whose work or whose presence positively affects us. Yeah, so just give the good word about folks and organizations and groups um, that you just want to be heard.
Nar. Yeah, I love that. I love that you do this. It's and this goes, yeah, like we've mentioned already a whole slew of people that we've either worked with in the past or have just kind of extended the olive branch to. And off the top of my head, I think I want to give a big shout out to Luna Guitar,
Hmm.
because
Yeah.
if you caught it on the music video, we were playing their instruments the entire time, and Luna has been so kind enough to endorse us and just kind of been a part of our community as such. Also, local music experience is another kind of social endeavor, and they're partnered with Pigs Radio nowadays,
Hmm.
and we haven't worked directly with local music experience yet, but they play our song from time to time, and they're always promoting and looking for new artists to be on their rotation. So big shout out to them. You guys could just butt in if you want to. I'm literally I'm looking at my phone as I'm talking.
Oh, definitely want to thank out to the buddies of mine that were able to help us create some of the artwork that we've designed. They're basically a small pin company, and I wanted to mention that we do have a webpage. It's sonsofcali.com, and some of our artwork is there. So we have like shirts and pins, physical made pins, and stickers and stuff like that that they helped us create and actually make it possible to showcase for people that are fans and stuff like that. And uh, they're called Mr. X Productions, and they're the guys that helped me like create and design the pin. I was like, oh, if I want to do something, these guys were the ones that drew it up, sketched it a little bit, and like, here's an idea, boom, in, out, no fuss, no muss, make it easy. And I was like, oh, thanks, man. So appreciate those guys. Another guy that helped us out too was the what's that beer company that we go to? We used to play at. Um, I forgot it. Dang it! But
Bree art.
yeah, Brewyard. He helped us out because they gave us a connect where we wanted to make some shirts, and this company that helped them make their shirts helped us make our shirts too. Abstract Designs was another one that gave us the way to create shirts and be able to sell some of our merchandise and stuff like that. So it was something that I didn't know and didn't understand, and so for them to give us a little tip or a little help, us like, yeah, talk to this guy who'll help you out, and I appreciate for those guys. So thanks to the art community that helped us out. That's definitely something I enjoy. Also, my uncle, he's a painter, so he actually helped me out with the logo as you see in our band. It's a little hidden gem, but if you look at the artwork in the back, it looks like a rainbow of like the galaxy in the background. Actually, it's a tidal wave, and so I was able to Photoshop and create the effect and stuff like that. So thanks to the artists that were out there too.
That's fucking rad.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice that.
Or, I mean, there's so many on my end, but one that definitely comes to mind is First Impressions All Stars. They're a organization in Frogtown here in Los Angeles, and
Oh,
through the
sick.
pandemic, they've held um, marketplaces over at their location, and they're big in the community here from Frogtown, Glass Hill Park, Cypress Park, um, and they actually helped us play a show safely through this pandemic, and they're ongoing doing these farmers markets and giving people an opportunity to safely go out and shop from artisans in the area. They're doing face masks, handmade soaps, desserts, these like great tacos, jewelry, all kinds of stuff. And that's a big one that I like to shout out. I like to shout out Luna Guitars again because man, they show so much support and love to us, and can't thank them enough. Um, like to thank Pigs Radio because that was one of the first podcasts that we had been on and performed on as well. That was a very fun experience. They're great people. We would love to be there again. Um, I would also really like to thank my friend Ryan Breezy, Amber Ryan.
Falling, fucking fighting. You want all that? Do you catch me lying? You want all that? Do you keep on trying when it's all bad? Ooh.
Which is a local artist out of Pasadena, and she sends pointers every now and then my way, which I try and incorporate to this band and like outreaching the area, and that's going back to community. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. Like always helping each other out. And same thing with my friend Nate Tatano. He's a great friend of mine from college. We do the same thing. We always shout each other out, each other's projects. Um, let's see, bands that we played with. I mean, um, what was it? Good Vibes, Revibes.
Revive.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Revive. Like to shout them out. They're such cool dudes. I think we've only played with them once or twice, and um, it's very unfortunate because I think that the two of us could possibly tour together in the future,
Definitely.
sometime after the pandemic. That would be really cool to at least do like a SoCal tour or a West Coast.
That's yeah, y'all really just threw those
We love
names
our
out.
people, man. We
Yeah,
love our
Love that.
people.
they take care of us.
It's so yeah, it's so cool to see folks who are so conscious of the communities and the people within them. Yeah, if y'all don't mind, I'm gonna shout out a couple people that that I've had the pleasure of meeting or getting to know of. One, I want to know, or excuse me, brain fart. I want to shout out the Sims Library of Poetry in Los Angeles. A beautiful little, well, it's a library. That's about. No, it's not just a library though. This is a this is a place owned by Hiram and Sharice Sims, and although I've only been there once, the one time I went was absolutely beautiful as they were holding a little live poetry and music event. Um, yeah, but they do a whole bunch of awesome, community building events. They do a whole bunch of stuff for charity, for lack of a better term, and just their mission of being able to, spread poetry and spread literacy, as it were. I find that entirely beautiful. The folks who run it are beautiful people as well, and the experience I've gotten to have there was just, it was amazing. Like I always love, seeing live art, but just that like there's something about the environment, about being in this place that's just chock from wall to wall with books. Um, there's just something about it that was really magical, and I, you know, okay, brain farted again. Yeah, I'll put that down for that for now. Anybody who's in the LA area, um, check out the Sims Library of Poetry. Support Sims Library of Poetry as they are wonderful people. I also want to give a big shout out to Long Beach Fresh. This is a cool group of people who do a whole bunch of services and education regarding locally sourced organic food. I first got to know them through my friend Carolyn, who is a local artist around the Long Beach area. And she does amazing like storyboarding for film and for video games. But she posted this in her story on Instagram, and it was about a map that Long Beach Fresh had made that was just about showing people where they could get locally grown organic produce. And I think that's super important to me, first of all, because I am a huge supporter and advocate for organically grown, holistically grown foods. Um, Completely disillusioned with the current agribusiness system. So anytime I get to learn about people who are, trying to create better way of producing, distributing food, I'm all for it. But these folks have created a community around it. They educate people on how to source organically grown food. They show people through their website and through their social media where you can find organic foods at groceries and markets and stuff like that. And of course, there's this map which they're updating whenever people have sprung a little farm from the ground in the Long Beach area. Um, I just find that kind of work beautiful because that's the kind of work that we need to heal the earth and to heal our communities. Yeah, I just wanted to give a big
Nice.
shout out to them.
Yeah,
Nice.
we'll definitely have to check their socials out and maybe collaborate on something. Who knows?
Yeah, man, they sound super fresh.
Yeah,
Long Beach Fresh.
Long Beach fresh. Well, yeah, that's about it for this cast. It was a pleasure and a half to have y'all on this episode. Y'all are just brimming with good vibes. And
The pleasure is all ours,
Dude,
brother.
I say it
thanks.
was fun talking to you. No worries. This will probably go up in about a week and a half ish. But yeah, for everybody in the audience, thank you all for listening, and I hope that everybody's night, day, afternoon is doing well, and we will
Bye,
catch you
everybody.
on the flip side. Adios.